Moving on, Russian President Vladimir Putin met in the Kremlin on Friday with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to discuss a potential ceasefire deal with Ukraine. The reunion was the second meeting between the head of states and Witkoff in the last 2 weeks, and their fourth one this year. The last one took place in St. Petersburg on April 11, lasting more than 4 hours. In this regard, Kremlin Press Secretary Dmitry Peskov explained that the negotiations are many sides since the subject is very complex. The government officials highlight how useful the talks have been and note that they were a reliable channel for communicating positions between President Putin and his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump. In this regard, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated that Moscow, with U.S. mediation, is ready for an agreement on Ukraine, but some details need to be finalized. For the time being, Moscow and Washington are actively cooperating to resolve the Ukrainian crisis, while Kiev insists on its own conditions and does not want to make concessions. The president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, said on Thursday that Ukraine wants to reach peace with Russia by force and called on the U.S. to use its power and influence to put pressure on Moscow. Russia and the U.S. established contact in the Riyadh on February 18 after the U.S. President Donald Trump's inauguration. Another round of talks took place in Istanbul on February 27, and they met again in Istanbul on April 10. In Russia, an attack claimed the life of a GD chief of the main operational directorate of the Armed Forces, General Staff Yaroslav Muskalik, after the vehicle explosion in the city of Balashia, Moscow province. The country's investigative committee reported that the incident occurred on Friday in the parking lot of a residential building. The explosive device used in the attack contained more than 300 grams of TNT.